Good evening. Tonight we're gonna attempt to smoke some ribs here on the Traeger. I'm smoking it with a mixed bag of wood pellets like oak, hickory, maple, and cherry. And got some baby backs that I picked up at Aldi's here. Just removed the membrane from the back and kind of dried it off a bit. And I'm gonna use just good old Frenchie's mustard, American mustard, as a binder. Just a little bit of mustard. Rub that in. I found the mustard works real good to bind the spices and gives it a little bit of flavor, actually. Been my experience with it. Keeps it nice and moist as well. So today I'm too lazy to blend my own spices to rub, so I got Killer Hogs barbecue. And we'll start with the all-purpose, which is just salt, pepper, garlic blend. And just kind of go nice layer of all quadrants of the meat here. Flip it up, doing it both sides. And then we got the barbecue rub from Killer Hogs. That's Malcolm Reed. And this is pretty much our Memphis style rub. And I will have another video with the recipe for a Memphis rub to make this kind of ribs. But this is good. You can also get Weber or Traeger seasoning that's very similar. Works as well. So now we're going to put the second layer and we're just going to make it nice and give it that nice red color, you know. And there it is. Looks good to me. Now that we got her all seasoned up, I'm just going to give it about 15-20 minutes to let the seasoning sink in and get happy. It takes the moisture out of the meat, makes it look amazing on the color. So we'll give it 15 minutes before we place it on the actual smoker. Now it looks like we got our Traeger up to temperature. I'm cooking it at 275 tonight. And we're gonna start with going at 275 about almost 2 hours. I usually play it by feel, either an hour and a half, hour and 45. Then I wrap them in the foil and do some magic to them. And we're gonna start by placing them on the 275 smoker here for 2 hours. Setting them right here, kind of pressing them up together so they'll be nice and beautiful when they come off the cooker. So start with 2 hours, and the next thing we're gonna do is mix up some mop sauce. Get some magic going. And the mop sauce, I used to make a bigger batch of it and I always had way too much left. So what I do now is you can use the regular vegetable oil or virgin olive oil. I use the virgin olive oil. I just like the flavor better. So we're gonna do 2 parts oil to 1 part vinegar. So basically I'm doing 4 tablespoons of the extra virgin or vegetable oil if that's what you prefer. And then I got the organic raw unfiltered apple cider vinegar. And I usually get the Bragg's, or this one here is really good too, the White House. And we're just gonna do half. So 2 tablespoons of the vinegar. And that becomes pretty much the base of it. Then I just get some rub, whatever you put on the meat, and put in the sauce a little bit. Just a little, no recipe on that, just a teaspoon and a half, and then got some barbecue sauce. I'm just gonna put a little bit of barbecue sauce in there, just a bit, like that. And then you know you can put Worcestershire sauce or whatever. This is kind of how I do it, just very basic, nothing too sophisticated. We'll stir that up, and about every 15-30 minutes, brush it over the ribs for the first 2 hours of cooking. I feel like it keeps them moist and it gives them a little extra flavor. That's a little bit of the secret, I think. While the ribs are cooking, or the first 2 hours, I usually put, that real good fall apple cider that you can get at the supermarket, that in one of these bowls, and just stick it on the grill, let it evaporate to keep moisture on the ribs. But I don't have any of that good apple cider, so I'm just putting a little bit of apple juice. I'd say about quarter cup of apple juice, and then I'm just gonna put a little bit of that apple cider vinegar in the juice like this, and we're gonna place that on the grill and let it evaporate while and it'll reduce down while you're cooking the ribs, and it actually makes them nice and moist and gives them a little bit of that apple flavor, which is cool. Okay, got the ribs here for about 30 minutes. It looks like the rub is tightening up on them pretty good. Apple cider is it's doing its thing. It won't start evaporating real good until about another 30 minutes or so. So I'm just gonna brush it a little lightly with the sauce. Not trying to rub it too much, just kind of let it sprinkle over the meat, nice and gently stir that thing up. Just give it a little moisture. It'll give it an amazing color as well. See? So we're looking good. Yeah, baby. Okay, along with those ribs, we're gonna do some coleslaw, and I'm making this actually a little bit of a Memphis style, which has apple cider vinegar in it. And so I got a bag of coleslaw, and it's about 14 ounces. That's just the standard bag you get at the grocery store. And we're gonna give it a little time in the refrigerator to let it set up, because that's what gives it the magic. So I'm just gonna do a half a cup of mayo. I've also did this for a person that has allergy to mayonnaise, and just used sour cream instead, and that actually works really good as well. So we're gonna put the mayo in here, then a quarter cup of sugar, and then the vinegar is gonna be a bit of a taste for you, how much vinegar you want to put in it. But the recipe I have calls for a quarter cup of vinegar, which is 4 tablespoons. And I'm probably gonna cut it somewhere in the middle, because I don't want it to be too vinegary. So we're gonna go with, there's 2 tablespoons, 1/8 of a cup. I'm just gonna, put a little bit more. Just kind of cut it in half. So that's about 3 tablespoons or so of the vinegar. And then we're gonna get a teaspoon of kosher salt, approximate, and a teaspoon of some good black pepper. So about a teaspoon of pepper. And then I'm gonna put about a half a teaspoon of celery seeds. And I think the celery seeds, they do something. I think that's kind of the magic to this recipe in a way. You can put less if you don't like celery seeds. You can omit them, or you can put a little more if you really like them. I like them a bit, so I put about a half a teaspoon and I'm just gonna put a little bit of American mustard, but yeah, like that. Then stir it up good. I'll use tongs, I usually do, kind of let it do its thing. And then we're gonna place that in a fridge and let it set up, a couple of hours. This would be magic right here. So there you have it, Memphis style coleslaw. Now we're about an hour and a half into this cook, and I've been brushing it with the mop sauce about every 30 minutes. And I just brushed them about 10 minutes ago, and they're starting to look really nice. And the color is amazing. The little bit of a bone pull going on. The apple cider vinegar is just reducing, giving it a nice little steam. And about another 25 minutes, we're gonna take them off, take them in the house, wrap them in the foil, do our little magic on the foil. I'll show you what we got going on in there. And then we're gonna put them back on the grill, just tighten them up, you know, after they come out of the foil. Maybe 15-20 minutes. I might brush them lightly with some kind of a sauce, or maybe the mop sauce, or add a little barbecue sauce to it. I just don't want them to be too saucy, you know what I'm saying? I want them to have that beautiful thing going. So yeah, now that we had the ribs on there for 2 hours and brushed them every 30 minutes with the mop sauce, they're here ready to go. I got a stick of butter, and we're gonna just take the stick of butter, about a tablespoon at a time, like this, and layer them on that double wrap foil right here. So I got this honey. I usually get a local honey, but this is a good honey that I got, and we'll just sprinkle a little bit of that on the bottom like this. You know what I'm saying? Can't get any better than that. A little bit of rub, just a sprinkle. People put different things in there. This is what I do, at least for today. We get the rack and we'll just lay them on top of this goodness right here. And then we'll do the same thing on top. Butter and honey. Doesn't get any better than that. And we'll just take the honey and just kind of sprinkle it over like this. Wow, man. And getting it, giving all my secrets away. We just take a little bit of that rub and wrap this body tight. Like Johnny Gill, wrap it tight. And then we'll place this back on the smoker for about an hour. Let it get happy in this honey and butter. And then we just tighten it up for about 20 minutes after it comes out of this foil. Stick around. Okay, now that we got this for about an hour, almost an hour, I just opened it up. It looks quite amazing. Now we gotta put it out and let it tighten up on the grill. See, the bones are all pulling out, very nice. I just did a temperature check and it's about right at 203. So right where it needs to be. We're gonna take it out of the foil and put it on the grill, brush it with some sauce, and let it go for about 20 minutes, and it'll be ready to go. It's right at the optimal temperature, like 203. Now that the rack is off the grill, I mean, it cuts just right, real easy, like that. And wow, look at that nice smoke ring we got going on. It's juicy, you know. Yeah, we're gonna put that right over here on this little plate right here. Just a little bit of my Memphis Slaw. That cleans the palate, makes it just taste amazing. So we're gonna start with the coleslaw a little bit. Cleanse the palate first. Wow, that's good. Look at the juice, man. Wow, it's dripping. Forget about it. This is what I'm talking about right here. If you don't know, ask somebody, call a friend, and you will know that this is proper right here. These are really good. Good Lord. Jim, we done made some good ribs up in here.